Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Juliet and this is my channel Mama Tried. Today it's going to be such a fun video because I'm sharing with you my monthly toddler meal prep. I'm going to be doing about 14-15 different recipes here, so there's going to be a lot to choose from. These are going to pretty much all be freezer meals, so you can put them in the freezer, take them out, thaw them, microwave them, whatever you need to do, so that way your babies can eat happy, healthy, and you're not just feeding them a bunch of processed foods. I know it seems like it's a lot of work, but to me, it's worth it. So let's get started. I decided to start off with breakfast casserole because that's what we were having that morning for breakfast. So I'm just spraying my pan and adding in some maple sausage. That is a pound. And then I'm cooking that up over the stove as I add in my other ingredients on the side because I love to manage my time properly. So I've got 8 eggs that I'm adding in there. And for whatever reason, when I film, I always get eggshells in there and have to get them out. If I'm not filming, it doesn't happen. So I don't know why that happens. But anyway, so I'm adding all of them in there and cooking up the sausage at the same time. And then I'm going to add a tiny bit of milk. I don't really measure anything, so I'm sorry you guys, I just added in there. And then I'm tearing up some spinach and adding it in there as well. Luxie doesn't seem to mind no matter how much spinach I put in there, so I try to put as much as I can so we can get her greens in first thing in the morning. And so I'm just literally adding and adding and adding, but it does shrink a lot and you don't even really notice that it's in there. I don't anyways. Then I'm adding in some Italian seasoning. Once again, no measurements, I just do what I feel. Some mustard, some Worcestershire sauce, and mixing it up really, really well. Then I'm going to add in some cheese. I usually shred my own cheese, but this time I had a bag left over, so that's about 1.5 cups, maybe 2 cups of cheese. Then I added in my sausage and stirred it up really good. I used to do my breakfast casserole like an actual casserole, but then I started doing it as like breakfast muffins, and it's so much better because they're pre-portioned and they freeze really easy this way. And one is a perfect portion size for Luxie. So if I don't eat any of these, which I'm going to because I love this too, Luxie's got plenty of breakfast. So here I'm just making some Chick-fil-A copycat nuggets and they turned out amazing. 10 out of 10 recommend these. So I just cut about 3 pounds of chicken tenders into bite-sized pieces and took all the nasty parts of the chicken off. And then I used some leftover Claussen dill pickle juice and strained it over it because it has like garlic and seasonings in it. So I did that and put it in the fridge for about 6 hours. I will be adding all of the links to all of these recipes in the description for you guys. There are a couple in here that are my recipes, and so I'm just going to do my best to explain everything. And some of these recipes I do different things with too, so I add in my own ingredients, like if it's flour, regular flour, sometimes I'll do almond flour. So I don't always follow the recipe like perfectly, but I'm going to do my best to explain to you guys what all I'm doing. Here I'm just placing all of those little muffins on a baking rack so they can flash freeze. So I stick them in the freezer for about 20 minutes and this makes it where they don't stick together if I put them in the same container. While those were in the freezer, I went ahead and got started on the mini muffins. So I'm just adding 3 bananas into a bowl and smushing them up with a fork until they're pretty liquidy. And then I added some coconut oil. It was 3 tablespoons, so I just melted it in the microwave for just a few seconds. Then I just stirred in the coconut oil and then I added my unsweetened applesauce and milk in there and stirred it up well again, and vanilla extract, and then my eggs. And I just made sure that I stirred everything really, really well. I use baking soda all the time. That's why I bought this gigantic box and I put it in another container, so don't worry about the way that I opened it. I know it looks crazy. Then I added in some almond flour. I think this is where I substituted. I'm not positive, but I usually do if I can. I always make sure to spray my pans really well so nothing sticks because that just makes a bad day in the kitchen. So I'm adding a tablespoon to put the mixture inside the muffin tins and then I just popped it in the oven. I swear these are really simple to me. And then while that's in the oven, I went ahead and made the yogurt bark. Now, if I could go back and do this again, I would have added in honey with the Greek yogurt or something to sweeten it up, because it was just like not very sweet. Luxie loves it just because she's teething, but to me, it's just not very sweet. It doesn't taste very good. But the fruit does bring some sweetness, but not really if it's super frozen. So just a heads up there. I would add something to sweeten it up a little bit, whether it be a little bit of stevia or honey or agave or whatever. Then these are finally done flash freezing, so I'm just putting them in some freezer safe containers so that way I can just thaw them out or put them in the microwave later. This is how the muffins turned out. They are so tiny and cute and perfect for little hands. I really feel like these are a great on-the-go snack or breakfast also. One of my favorite cooking gadgets is totally my Apple Watch. I love being able to say, set a timer for blah blah blah, and it just listens to me. It's like my little cooking servant. I love it. Here I'm doing probably my least favorite thing, which is peeling apples and cutting them up. Yes, I always peel everything. I hate the skin on stuff. I don't know how people eat things with skin. But anyways, I'm just chopping all of these up, and then I'm going to add a little bit of cinnamon in there and bake them up, and man, they are so good, and it's literally just apples and cinnamon, and it makes your house smell really good for fall. Also, pro tip here, coming in hot. If you just want to make a snack for yourself, you can chop up one apple, put it in the air fryer, get it nice and crispy, and top it with like some honey and some granola, and girl, you got yourself a healthy, yummy snack, okay? And the muffins are done flash freezing, so I'm just putting them in containers and popping them in the freezer. I know this one seems lame, but it makes my life so easy, so I'm just going ahead and portioning out some smoothie mixtures. So that is a banana and strawberry already frozen mixture that I had. I'm adding in some spinach and blueberries and chia seeds, and that way when I make a smoothie, all I have to do is add some oat milk, almond milk, or coconut milk, and Luxie loves smoothies. If you're not giving your toddler smoothies, do it. You can add in so many greens and they don't even know. And on to the next thing. So I'm just poking some holes in some sweet potatoes, wrapping them up in a paper towel. Oh, and I coated them with some olive oil, of course. And then I just wrapped them up in a paper towel and cooked them in the microwave for 5 minutes. And then I flipped it over to the other side and cooked it for another 5 minutes, and they turned out perfect. And so the apples are done baking, so I'm just putting them on a baking sheet to flash freeze them so they don't all stick together. You know what I'm saying? Gotta do it the smart way, not the hard way, you know? And so there I am flipping the potatoes like I already told you guys. And now I am peeling some more sweet potatoes and chopping them up into like small baby-sized fries, I guess you would say. And then I just added in some olive oil and some onion and garlic powder, and they were so good, and they smelled so good while they were cooking too. So this is a healthy alternative to fries, and Luxie really seems to like these too. Then I just placed them all on a baking sheet and popped them in the oven. The recipe will be in the description down below. I lightly followed it. I did not use the same seasonings or anything like that, but as far as the cooking time and the temperature, I followed that. 10 minutes. 10 minutes is all it took to get 2 perfectly cooked sweet potatoes in the microwave. I swear I'm never cooking these in the oven ever again. That was just way too easy. But anyways, I just put it in a bowl, and this is what is going to be the base for my little mini pizzas for Luxie. So I'm just mushing all of the sweet potatoes up and getting them all mushy, I guess. I don't know. And then I'm adding in some coconut flour and some cornstarch. The recipe called for tapioca starch, which I could not find in my little country town. And then I added in my seasonings, which I used oregano and basil. I believe that I followed everything in this recipe minus the cornstarch, or tapioca starch is what it called for. Then I'm just like mushing it up really, really well, and see how well it's turning into like a pizza doughy like base. And I went ahead and formed them because wow, that was a lot of footage, and I'm sure you guys didn't want to see all that, but I basically put them into little balls and flatten them out into like patties. Next time I will definitely make them thinner though. I don't know if they'll hold together as well, but they're a little bit too thick for my taste, but whatever. Luxie hasn't tried these yet, but she's going to probably tonight. Then I'm just shredding my cheese, and I didn't follow the instructions on the pizzas, just FYI. I was supposed to bake them in a pan first and then in the oven, but yay me, I wasn't paying attention, I guess. Maybe it was the other 12,000 recipes that were going through my head, but I decided to make it up by flipping them over on a baking rack, which that doesn't make any sense, but that's what I did. And they turned out okay, but like I said, I'll make them thinner next time. Those are the fries. Those were awesome. 10 out of 10 recommend. Again, I wanted to do some variety here, so I used some red sauce that I had from Aldi, and then I used some Alfredo sauce too. The Alfredo ones really weren't that good with the sweet potato mixture. They would probably be a little bit better if the pizza crusts were thinner though. And then I just topped them with mozzarella cheese and put them in the oven so the cheese would melt. And then I'm just putting those little fries in the freezer. It makes me really sad that Luxie's allergic to peanut butter, but I found this Wow butter at Brookshire's, and I think it's disgusting, but she likes it, and that's all that matters. They're for her anyway. So I wanted to make her some Uncrustables, but peanut-free Uncrustables. So I just made the sandwiches, and then I got a cup and used the end to kind of make a circular shape to cut off the crusts, and also it binds the sandwich together so that way it freezes as a whole instead of falling apart, if that makes sense. So this makes a great teething snack, also a great on-the-go snack. I keep them in the freezer, obviously, so it's a great thing to just throw in the diaper bag if you're in a hurry. Obviously, if your child isn't allergic to peanuts, you could just make the classic PB&J. I made a total of 8 of them, I guess 9 including the one she's about to eat, and then those are what the pizzas turned out to look like. Now I'm getting started on some mini meatloaves, so I'm grating 1 carrot, it was half a cup, and then I'm grating some zucchini, also half a cup. Then I got some cheesecloth, put it inside so that way I could squeeze out all of the excess moisture, so that way they didn't like fall apart or anything, and they ended up being perfect because I ended up squeezing out all of the moisture so well. So I would definitely do that. The recipe for this one will also be in the description for you guys, so I'm just cooking them on the stove top to kind of soften the veggies, and then I'm chopping up a onion very, very finely and adding it in with that mixture on the stove. So while all of that is cooking, I went ahead and put the other mixture together. So that was turkey, and then I scrambled up 1 egg, and just so you guys know, I hand wash all of the dishes in between so that way I'm not dirtying up so much at a time. So that's why you'll see me using the same thing over and over again. And I put some panko breadcrumbs in there as well and added in my ketchup and my broth. And then I added in some seasonings. I made sure to mix everything very well, and then I used a little scoop to make sure that they're portioned out evenly, and I put them on a baking rack on top of a baking pan with some foil, because anytime that you cook anything like meatloaf, it's going to drip. So then I added some ketchup on top and spread it around really good. And you guys, these also were amazing. I love them. Luxie's also a fan. And did you see the veggies that were in there? As that was cooking, I went ahead and made the banana pancakes. So I made a double batch, so that was 2 bananas and 4 eggs. And like I said, every time I film, I always drop an eggshell in there that I have to get out. I don't know why I do that, but it's 2 bananas, 4 eggs, and a cup of rolled oats. And then I also add in some spinach in there too, because Luxie doesn't mind it, and so I get my greens in where I can. I'm just spraying my griddle with olive oil and adding the pancake mixture onto the pan. I just keep it in the blender and do it this way. They'd probably be more even if I didn't do it this way, but I try not to dirty up as much as I can. So by the time I'm done pouring it, it's usually time to go ahead and flip them over, and these are awesome. I just keep them in the freezer, and then whenever we run out, I just make some more. I've been making these for as long as Luxie has been eating real food. They're awesome. So I just put them in individual baggies for the portion size that she eats. She normally eats about 4 of these, and then I freeze them, and they're perfect to thaw. You just grab the bag and put it in the fridge the day before, or you can even microwave them frozen if you want to, but be careful for hot spots. And so the meatloaf was not ready yet, so I put it back in the oven, and this is where I'm putting them in the individual bags. I know this isn't environmentally friendly. I'm trying to figure out a better way to do this, but for now, this is the easiest way I can think of. If you guys have any ideas, let me know. The individual meatloaves turned out so good. You guys definitely try them. And then while those are in the freezer, I just went ahead and made my mixture for the copycat Chick-fil-A nuggets. I used almond flour and all of the other seasonings that it called for. And then I cracked 1 egg, and I would recommend doubling up on this mixture because I needed to. I had to make this twice because I didn't have enough, and I wish that I would have just done it all at once. So I would definitely double up on that part of it. So I do 2 eggs and then double up on the bread mixture. And then it was so simple. I just took it out, put it in the egg, put it in the bread mixture, and put it on the baking rack. I think the baking rack was super easy to do, so that way it cooks through all the way, like top and bottom, so that way you don't have to flip them. So highly recommend doing it this way. It was super easy. All in all, this made about 80 chicken nuggets. 80. And I think that they're awesome. Luxie likes them, so, and I'm sure your little ones will too if they like the Chick-fil-A nuggets. Now I'm making some blender waffles. This one you could do pretty much anything with. You could substitute the cinnamon for something else. You could add blueberries in there. You could add spinach if you wanted to, strawberries, whatever. So I really thought that this was a good one. I ended up just doing the original recipe that I've got linked down below for you guys, and they turned out great. I got that mini waffle maker on Amazon. I can link that for you guys too because I thought it was super easy, and I love that they're individual like that, so they're really good for toddlers. And I ended up adding some honey in there to sweeten it up a little bit. I don't remember what it said to add in for a sweetener. I don't think that it did, but I added honey. I love how easy that these were, and that these are freezable, and so you can make them once and eat all month if you want to. I mean, they were super simple, and I love that you can do whatever with them. I made sure to spray the little waffle maker in between each use, and I used about 2 scoopfuls of the liquid mixture, and they turned out so good. If I would have known how good they were going to turn out, I should have done a double batch, and I definitely will next time. I was really hoping that I'd be able to make it to the full 14 recipes today, but I couldn't. I'm exhausted. I've been going since 8 a.m. and the time is now 4:30 p.m. But I did get 12 of the recipes finished, so I'm so happy about that. If you guys liked today's video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more of my videos. And if you have any questions or suggestions, leave them down in the comment box down below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and have an awesome day. Bye!
No, no, no. No, 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 no. Oh, oh,
Luxie. Luxie. Luxie.